Good morning, Mr. Kratz. How are we today, sir? Okay. Right now, as it sits, I have you blindfolded, gagged, hands tied behind your back, strapped to a post, and I am the only firing squad there is. Just me. Okay? Now, you know and I know that you can be charged with treason. You took the same oath I took, and you violated it. Not only did you violate it, but you waged war in direct opposition of it. Now then, that makes you a traitor to the oath of office. Yes, sir. That's what that does. Now then, Ken, have you ever heard of enemy mine? You haven't heard of enemy mine? Well, the military is quite an interesting place. Let me tell you a couple of stories about enemy mines. World War I, there was a British soldier and a German soldier, and they ended up in a shell hole together. They were both equally armed, and they had to drop on each other. Which one fires first? Well, neither of them, because they hesitated. And then they recognized that the hesitation in the other one, and then they had hesitation in this one, and that one recognized hesitation, so they hesitated. And they sat there and aimed at each other but didn't fire. Just two guys. Couldn't even speak the language. But what they ended up doing is sat back and had a cigarette each. They sat there and just smoked a cigarette. And they just waited around. Fucking war and shit going all around them. And there's just two enemies sitting in a shell hole. And they didn't kill each other. The reason why that is number one, they weren't surrounded by their comrades. And number two is they weren't being lorded over by an officer. They were just two guys left alone in the middle of a war. And what'd they choose to do? Smoke cigarettes. Now, Vietnam, here's another interesting story to come out of Vietnam. Da Nang. And that is a tunnel rat. A tunnel rat went into this tunnel and surprised some Vietnamese. And they were smoking pot. And their guns were down, they're just sitting there smoking pot, and all of a sudden they're caught. But he didn't shoot them. They were unarmed. Okay? And they didn't reach for their weapons. They just continued to smoke pot. And they offered him a hit. He took them up on it. And they sat there and they passed it around, okay, pipe or joint or whatever it was. Anyway, they got thoroughly baked. And the tunnel rat went back down the hole, and the Vietnamese took off another direction. There was a American and a Japanese ended up stranded on this island together, and they fight each other, but come down to the conclusion that it's going to take two of them to get off the island. It was mutually beneficial to both parties. They swam out. Well, of course, he was picked up. They were both picked up by a U.S. ship, and the Japanese guy was prisoner. But after they heard the story, he was still a prisoner, the Japanese guy, still a prisoner, but they took him around the ship and showed him some shit. And he ended up eating with the crew, messed with the crew. They gave him some menial jobs, clean up this, and he worked the mess decks and washed dishes and shit until they got back to some place where they could offload him and send him to a prisoner of war camp. The reason why I'm telling you this, Ken, is because we have a potential enemy mine situation here. Yes, we do. Stephen Avery, I want you to write out on Wampum Prison Station area again a release of liability for Kenneth R. Kratz. Okay? Do not date it. Do not sign it. Just make it out. Send the owner a copy and send me a copy. Got it? And send Ken Kratz a copy. So, Ken, let's talk about this. I don't hate you. Don't like you. Don't hate you. It's immaterial to me. What it is that you're an interesting fellow. There's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason. So, what we'll do is take the treason off the table for now. Spare you. Why? Well, because we need the story. We need the story, the real story, what really went on. And I want to know what makes you tick. Why did you guys do what the hell you did? Nobody in their right mind is going to do what you, Fallon, and Gann, String, and Buting did in that courtroom. That's a strange and really odd case. And yet you did it anyway. You're hell-bent on doing it anyway, just hell-bent. It doesn't matter what the evidence says, we're going to do this. Now, I know that Kenneth Peterson basically said, you either frame his ass or I'll kill him. And what are you going to do with that situation? You got to not let Peterson kill him. So you have to put Stephen Avery away somewhere where he's safe from Peterson. Okay? But taking Brendan Dassey down too, oh, come on, man. Now, you didn't have probable cause to arrest Peterson, and Peterson would have found a way to kill Stephen Avery, and you knew that. So you had to put him away for his own safety. And then when 2011 came around, Gone and Fallon went over and gave the Halbachs some unidentified bones. Well, that's going to turn out to be a fiasco. I think what's going to happen, Ken, is they're going to get a real analogy on this, not Eisenberg and her fucking paid opinion. But we'll get an independent study. We'll turn the bones over to Kathleen T. Zellner, turn the bones over to Knight Rider, turn the bones over to Stephen Dresden, turn the bones over to fucking FBI again. All right, turn the bones over to an independent lab. Whatever. And we're going to come out with a result. And that result is going to be that those bones were burned in a fire. It's going to have wood, it's going to have metal, and rubber. And they're going to be deer. You're going to be able to determine that they're deer bones. If they're human, and it's going to be determined that they're not Teresa's. Okay? If it is determined that it is Teresa, well, then you got a major fucking problem here. So you better damn well hope that they're deer bones. You better hope they're deer bones, because if they're Carmen's bones, or the other chick's bones, or the Teresa's bones, or the human bones at all, then you have major motherfucking problem. Okay? Major problem. Because you fucked up a murder investigation. So I'll tell you what. I'll make you a deal. Okay? If Stephen Avery signs, if Stephen Avery fills out a release of liability with your name on it, and he does not date it, and he does not sign it, and you get a copy of it undated, unsigned, and I get a copy of undated, unsigned from Stephen Avery, and he files one with Kathleen T. Zellner. Tell you what. Why don't you put Leah on a Princess cruise ship to Tahiti? Okay? And I want you to book passage on a cruise ship to Tahiti for Stacy Seabrook. Okay? Yeah. And I want those two to go to Tahiti. Now then, you have a guest room in your house. I want you to send me $20,000 and a round trip train ticket from Spokane to whatever the closest train station there is to your house. And I want you to come and pick me up at the train station and take me home. And I want to be your guest in your house, living with you 24/7 for 14 days. After 14 days, I'll pack up and come back to Spokane. But I want to sit with you breakfast, lunch, dinner. And you and I are going to kick back by a fireside. Okay? You got a fireplace, all right? And what we're going to do is start comparing notes. You see, if given authorization, you're convicted and sentenced to death. I want to be the one who put a bullet in your heart. And the reason why that is because I don't want somebody else to do it. You know? It's a terrible thing. It's bad to kill someone. And I don't wish that on anybody else. Certainly not Eric Ose and any other civilian. They're not qualified. I am. But before I do, I'd like to negotiate a deal. An out-of-court settlement. Business is business, Ken. You're a Republican. Business is business. So I want you to think about my offer. I'm not going to come into your house and kill your ass. No, that'd be fucking murder. All right. No, I'm more interested in keeping you alive. I want to sit down and get to know you, dude. Like I said, I want to find out what makes you tick. I'll have you down pat in 14 days, and I think I can help you out. I really do. I think I might be able to help you negotiate yourself out of this situation and come up smelling like a rose. But if you don't take me up on this offer, well then, it's hell's bells for you. You see, Ken, it's like this. When you have them by the balls, their hearts and minds follow. So, good day to you, sir.